We did a walk of the community to figure out where things were located. And if I wanted to go find a banana or an apple or something like that, is that within like, this is excellent. I just copied that actually, if you don't mind, but
Not at all.
having the 15 minute, bike ride or a 10-minute walk, are your resources within your area. And then is it safe to do that in your area? So that's one of the things the students spoke up about too. I don't feel safe walking in that area. So we
second, as a teacher who did the virtual thing, worked from home, the food like insecurities and housing insecurities and you name it has just like quadrupled. It's been a lot this year. I feel like I've done a lot more like dropping off clothes and food and water and things like that than the teaching aspect of what I do.
What are the challenges and opportunities with the federal investments in infrastructure?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think, so obviously, the way a lot of funding programs are structured, they're not necessarily very conducive to, more kind of creative and agile approaches like design thinking. But you're right. I do think that those buzzwords are kind of beginning to be used and kind of thrown around in the federal space. I do know of a few pilot projects at the Federal Transit Administration, and FHWA is doing a project on kind of like re-envisioning transportation demand management approaches. And so you are beginning to see this incorporation of more innovative practices. And I think as that happens, we'll be kind of forced to rethink how the funding structures can better support these types of approaches.
Trying to explain the stuff that healthcare doesn't have a lot of time to explain during your visits. So we talk about a lot of that too. But during the pandemic, we recognized that, the community needed that more than ever. They needed that human connection. So we did our drop-offs. We did, just dropping off or just FaceTime, just to let the pregnant mom know you're still not going through this alone. How can we make connections? How can we connect you to the places that have what you need? So that's kind of what I do with the Stork's Nest as well, which is housed on St. Joe's campus simply because I work here and I ask for the space, but we're not connected with St. Joe's. So that's kind of what I do on that end as well.
And how are you funded there?
And it's all like nonprofit. Nobody's paid for anything. And
Wow.
It's just, we saw a need.
Wow.
I was a mom at some point.
Right.
And decided to take the lead on it.
Autumn, I think you had some comments.
Yeah, Autumn, about collaboration and how to
partnership and
yeah, so I think partnership would be great. We actually have in our building is huge. You guys are welcome to come see our facility anytime, but we have a full kitchen. We have a 2-story building, but like focus groups for kids and parents, that's all stuff that we are talking about as an organization as well.
And then, the work from home and all of that pandemic influence even reduced then the ridership and so forth and so on. And it looks as though that's going to be somewhat sustained. And I'm wondering how they're going to reach an accord there to continue to get enough funding just to continue traditional services. So I think the answer to that is somewhere lies between how we take advantage of work from home and learning from home to increase productivity at the expense of, unfortunately, transportation, which when we talk about first responders and we talk about the core of distressed cities, that's really a pain point.
Yeah, and I think another important consideration is climate adaptation and mitigation as well. And I think this is also a kind of a watershed moment to really rethink how we travel and the contributions of our travel to the climate crisis.